The saying goes that the night is always darkest before the dawn. And what we are going to be noticing here in the United States, particularly in the state that I still live there are, and I've always said, in terms of her crimes, Debbie Wasserman Schultz is one of the most notorious insider traders this country's ever seen. In terms of the policy that she worked on to legalize in the United States was anything and everything that was anti-BDS. That is what she lived for. That is what she fought for. And the state of Florida, as much as any state, is a state that is recognized as one that if they want to come after you in certain forums for saying anything against the state of Israel, they are going to do it. And this is an example of what just happened to this young lady for saying, again, it's insane on its face, but this is what's going down now. Pay close attention.
It's unfortunate because I'm assuming she's a senior and going to graduate soon, and now this is going to jeopardize her ability to graduate.
A 23-year-old FIU student charged with a felony over messages she wrote in a school group chat. Gabriela Saldana facing a judge Thursday morning. According to her arrest report, this went down in a WhatsApp group chat of about 215 students, where students were discussing an event that was to take place Friday at the Ocean Bank Convocation Center on campus to make their capstone presentations. An FIU police officer read some of the statements in court.
The exact words utilized was, "There's going to be a bomb in the Ocean Bank Convocation Center, and it's going to be at Jonathan's fault," one of the members in the chat.
7 News obtaining some bits of that chat. It seemed the student wanted the event rescheduled and wrote, quote, "Netanyahu, if you can hear me, drop some bonbons for us capstone students in Ocean Bank Convention Center."
Okay, so what is effectively being discussed here is that this lady, a college student in a WhatsApp chat, is, for whatever the reason is that they didn't like the Ocean Bank Convention Center at FIU, is calling on Netanyahu to bomb the center. So it wasn't, oh, we're going to bomb the center. It's, hey, Netanyahu, can you bomb the center? So this has this woman in handcuffs in front of Mindy Glazer, the judge.
Where is this? Is this in, this is Dade County? Okay.
Yes.
Other students wrote they didn't take that text lightly. She later in the chat wrote, quote, "I wrote a dumb joke that should not have been made."
I can understand your position, Ms. Corey, and you're saying this is a joke, but to an objective person, it's not a joke. And there would
Actually, it is.
No, you're right. You're right. We thought that literally this woman here,
that this woman, who they probably looked into
here, and that somehow that was going to be a provocation for Ziohel to physically drop a bomb in Miami, where Ziohel, where Milikowski's son lives.
There's 2 things that I'm going to point out here that I think is obvious. Okay, first of all, yes, Judge Mindy Glazer is a Jew, and I have no doubt she's from Miami. The other thing that I'm going to point out here is that this girl looks like an immigrant. She is either a first-generation American or she is an immigrant and she's not a citizen. So she's already got 2 whammies going up against her, being an Hispanic American in South Florida, which is, again, in a place like Miami Beach or the coastline of Miami. Totally different world there, especially with somebody like this. I guarantee you, Jen, and I guarantee you, audience, this young lady has a clean record. She has nothing against.
I think we're all totally also missing the point, like completely missing the point. Like I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about this like in the literal sense. So her issue was she didn't want to have the graduation at that location. Was that basically what it was?
Whatever the reason is, this is
no. But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. But the point is, she's not saying anything that's calling for harm to Ziohel or to any Israelis or to any Jews. She's asking for Netanyahu to bomb a building. And so I'm sitting here and I'm thinking the only issue was that there is sort of this like asking for violence to this location. But the issue has nothing to do with quote unquote anti-Semitism or anything.
Correct.
She's not seeking, she's asking Netanyahu to drop bombs on this place so that she doesn't have to have this thing there. It's just a stupid thing to say because she's, again,
And
brain's
again,
not fully
within
developed.
a matter of
Who cares?
minutes, and within a matter of minutes, she says it in the chat. I made a dumb joke and I apologize.
And it isn't even, but yes, it's a dumb joke, but it's only a dumb joke in the sense that calling for violence, but nothing to do with anti-Israel, anti-Jewish at all. That's the person that seems to be out bombing all the other countries. She's saying, hey, dude, drop one here so that we don't have to have our graduation here. Nothing she even said has anything at all to do with not liking Israel.
Sure.
That's what's so interesting about this at all.
And
I think we're missing the whole point.
Yeah.
But
And then I
anyway.
think there's also the issue of, was she calling directly to see people get killed? It's like, oh, I hope they drop the bombs here so they could kill all those
Exactly.
civilians.
It's not her
Yeah.
fault that she knows that that fucker loves dropping bombs.
Couldn't have said it better. We'll finish it out.
Would be enough for probable cause. I'm not saying it's enough for beyond a reasonable doubt. I don't know what the state's going to be able to prove at trial.
Beyond a reasonable
But
doubt,
for
what?
purposes of
Beyond a reasonable doubt, what? That she was planning on, having a conspiracy with Benjamin Netanyahu to coordinate bombs on the thing. What charges?
Listen again.
person, it's not a joke, and there would be enough for probable cause. I'm not saying it's enough for beyond a reasonable doubt. I don't know what the state's going to be probable cause. I'm not
Yes,
saying it's
but
enough for beyond a
probable cause
reasonable doubt. I don't know what the
what?
state's going to be able to prove at trial. But for purposes of this hearing, I believe there is enough for probable cause.
I don't know what the charge is. That's what I'm saying. Probable cause for what? I don't know what she's charged with. Is it just
I think this
terrorist
information
threat?
here, hang on.
It's
I think this
unfortunate
has
because I'm assuming she's a senior and going to
All right. FIU student arrested for wanting Israel's Netanyahu to drop bombs on school's event arena, police say.
Now,
That's what they said.
nothing. Okay. So nothing she said meant that she wanted it to happen while people were there. Like, I don't understand. She wasn't threatening anybody. There's nobody that was threatened. So in order for this to be like a felony, like a charge of threatening to do something, there have to be people that are being threatened, unless she's just, they think she's just wanting to destroy that building. So maybe the charge would be like attempted vandalism. Like, what is the charge? Terroristic threats against who? I don't understand. And that is why, and that judge, they know. The thing is why this is harassment, and maybe it is Zio related in terms of the harassment. It may not be at all, because again, she's not threatening anything having to do with Israel. She's just making what would be a terroristic threat. But it does seem like that judge knows damn well. Forget that you wouldn't have beyond a reasonable doubt, lady. What was her name? Mindy. What's the probable cause, Mindy? I don't understand. Yeah, exactly. It's totally a thought crime. That's why there's no probable cause. And the reason that y'all are bullying her is because you can. And you know that there's no way that would be able to be proven. So why are you parading her around? Why are you doing this, Mindy?
And of course, you're picking on somebody who you can clearly tell is not from this country and may very well be in a very vulnerable position.
See, these are the bigger issues beyond the fact that whether or not she's a Zio, because again, I don't think now, could it be that there are Zios in that 200 and something WhatsApp chat that just don't like this chick, and some of maybe
she was definitely ratted out, like 100%.
Right, absolutely.
100%.
So was she ratted out by Zios to make her that I would
no doubt.
But the charge and the crime has nothing to do with hate speech or hate talk or anything like that. She doesn't mention anything like that.
Yeah. And this is an example of why our constitutional rights are being eroded on behalf of the Zio state. So stay vigilant. because Lord knows this is going to get so much worse.